If you're familiar with the positions in soccer, you know that every team has a goalie that, of course, keeps the other team from scoring. In front of him, you have the defensive line that helps the goalie in preventing the other team from scoring. You have the midfielders that help in defense, but also lead, and they follow the attackers as they score. You have the attacking line, in which sometimes a team will have a center attacking midfielder, and they'll have wings on the right and the left side. And in the very front, some teams will tend to have a striker, and the role of the striker is basically to score or to get your team in scoring position to make sure you're the reason that your team scores enough goals necessary to help them be the best team that they can. And I would say, because that's such a valuable position, I would make the argument that the most valuable striker, the most complete striker, Robert Lewandowski, because he's the best striker by far. Just by that alone makes him that makes him an elite player that I would classify as someone that deserves to be recognized as such. How you guys doing? It is July 19th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. And for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to do a profile on Robert Lewandowski, who is a 31-year-old striker playing for Bayern Munich, the team playing in Munich in Germany. And he's also from Poland, so he plays on the Polish national team too. He currently stands at about 6 foot. I would say he's the most complete striker in the world because, he doesn't score as often. This season, he's scoring at the level of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. He's in incredible shape. He's very physical. He can get up for headers. He can place balls basically anywhere, and he tends to deliver he tends to deliver when the pressure mounts up. He's one of the best when it comes down to it. And it looks as though Bayern Munich might end up being the most dominant team in all of soccer, and he is Bayern Munich's most dangerous attacker. But just to give you a little background, Robert Lewandowski, like I said, he's from Poland. He started out his first couple of seasons. He came in 2006. When he was 18, he debuted in the Polish league, and he scored 36 goals and 59 appearances on his first club, Żnicznik Puszczał. And from 2008-2010, he played for Lech Poznan, once again the Polish league. He scored 32 goals and 58 appearances, and by then he was already promoted to the Polish national team as the number 9, as recognized as Poland's best young soccer player at the time. He was eventually then moved to Borussia Dortmund for $4 million. It was a transfer. But at 21 years old, Robert Lewandowski was signed by Borussia Dortmund. And ever since, he's really been kind of making it work there. His first season there, 2010-2011, he only played 7 Bundesliga games and scored 2 goals. Played in a total of 138 minutes, scoring 1.3 goals a minute. Didn't really play much in that season. Borussia Dortmund would go on to win the Bundesliga, that was the first time they won the Bundesliga in a very, very long time, since the 2001-2002 season. But they knew with Robert Lewandowski there, they can at least be one of the premier teams, one of the teams that reigns in the Bundesliga. So going on to his 2011-2012 season, Robert Lewandowski would go on to play all 34 matches in the Bundesliga, 41 matches total. In the Bundesliga itself, he would score 22 goals and finish with 9 assists, with 29 goals on the season, as he scored 7 in the Pokal in the 6 games, and he had 9 assists on the season in the 41 games, finishing with 0.69 goals per game this season. Borussia Dortmund that season would go on to win Bundesliga for the second years in a row. They'll go on to win the Pokal, and they would end up losing in group stage. They would end up winning the double, the domestic double, which is the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal title, the Pokal title. And Robert Lewandowski, in his first full year of starting at striker, he would go on to lead Borussia Dortmund in scoring in goals that season. Leading on to his 2012-2013 season, he would go on to only play 20 games in the Bundesliga, but he would score 14 goals and have 3 assists. For the whole season, he would end up playing only 29 games, finishing with 20 goals and 4 assists in those games, logging 0.73 goals per 90 minutes in those games. And for the season, Borussia Dortmund would finish second in the Bundesliga, They would finish runners-up in the UEFA Champions League to Bayern Munich. Robert Lewandowski was the leading scorer, and this would carry, and then he would stay on for another season. But at this time, Borussia Dortmund was definitely a team to be feared in Germany, and this was because Robert Lewandowski was one of the top goal scorers, and he was one of the best players in the Bundesliga, and he was doing it this young, this early. And this would go and lead on into his 2013-14 season, in his final season in Borussia Dortmund. He would end up playing 33 games in the Bundesliga, finishing with 20 goals and 6 assists on the season. And even in the Champions League, he would go on to play 9 games, finishing with 6 goals and 2 assists. For the season, he would finish up with 28 goals and 8 assists in the 48 games that he played, as he scored .64 goals per 90 minutes. That season, Borussia Dortmund would finish as runners-up in the Bundesliga and in the DFB Pokal. They would win the Super Cup, but they would lose in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And for the third year in a row, Robert Lewandowski would lead Borussia Dortmund in goals as his third consecutive season, starting as the striker for Borussia Dortmund. But immediately that season, after that season, on a free transfer, he was immediately picked up by Bayern Munich in his age 26 season. He was picked up in August of 2014, and ever since then, he's really kind of been a man on a mission, because even though he was one of the best strikers in Germany at the time, and you could argue that he was the best striker in the Bundesliga when he was playing at Borussia Dortmund, now he went to the German powerhouse Bayern. And ever since, he's really been kind of dominating. Bayern Munich has really been dominating the Bundesliga, especially while he was there, and he is one of the big reasons why. So moving on into his 2014-15 season, he would play 31 games in the Bundesliga, finishing with 17 goals and 5 assists on the season, including he would finish with 6 goals in the 12 Champions League games. That season, he would finish with 27 goals and 8 assists in the 50 total matches, and he would end up scoring .62 goals per 90 minutes, which is incredibly difficult to do. In that season, Bayern Munich would finish up winning the Bundesliga. They would finish up in the semifinals of the Champions League, and Robert Lewandowski and Arjen Robben both tied for the team lead in goals. So basically, and this is another thing as well. Ever since he's been in the Bundesliga, and since he's been starting in every full season he's played, he was the leader of his team in goals. This is the only season that he's ever tied with anyone, and it was Arjen Robben, of all people, in 2014-15, after the season that he had. Moving on to his 2015-16 season, of course, more and more of the same thing. He would go on to score 30 goals in 32 Bundesliga matches with 2 assists. He would go on to add 13 goals in Euro qualifiers and 9 goals in Champions League. For the season, he would finish with 56 total goals in 69 matches played. He would finish with 1.02 over a goal per 90 minutes for the entire season. This would go down as one of his best statistical seasons. And that season, Bayern Munich would win the Bundesliga yet again. They would win the DFB Pokal, and they would finish in the Champions final of the Champions League, as Robert Lewandowski finished the season with 30 goals, leading the team in goals for his 5th straight season, and his 2nd season currently at Bayern. And at that point, that was the 3rd Bundesliga title he had won up until that point in his career, and he definitely wasn't stopping. In 2016-17, he would score 30 goals in his 33 matches played, with 5 assists as well. Throw in the 5 goals in the 4 DFB Pokal games, 8 goals in 9 Champions League games. He would finish with 44 goals in the 51 total matches played, finishing with .97 goals per 90 minutes, finishing with 10 penalty goals on the season. And Bayern Munich that season would finish with 82 points, winning the Bundesliga, finishing in the semifinals of the DFB Pokal and losing in the quarterfinal of Champions League. Lewandowski would once again lead the team in 30 goals scored for the season. And at this point, Lewandowski, this was the 3rd season in a row he had led the Bundesliga in goals, or playing for Bayern Munich. and he had led Borussia Dortmund in goals the 3 years prior. So for 6 years straight, he had been the leading goal scorer on his team in the Bundesliga, and he was playing for Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. And at that point, I think it wasn't secure that he was the best striker in the world, but he was definitely a Bundesliga legend, one to be reckoned with, who will go down in the books all time. And that would lead into his 2017-2018 season, where Levy would finish scoring 29 goals in 30 Bundesliga matches, 2 assists as well, all combined on the season, including Champions League. He would finish with 41 goals and 3 assists in 51 total matches played, including the World Cup. He finished with 7 penalty goals scored. He finished with 1.2 goals per 90 minutes. Lewandowski that season, Bayern would end up winning the Bundesliga. They would be the runners up in the DFB Pokal, and they would finish in the Champions League of the semifinals of the Champions League. And for the 4th year in a row, Lewandowski would lead Bayern Munich in goals as they once again won the 4th straight Bundesliga title in the Bundesliga, or the third straight Bundesliga title, while Lewandowski was starting at striker for Bayern Munich. And this would transition once again into his 2018-19 season, where in 33 Bundesliga matches, he finished with 22 goals and 7 assists. In the total 47 matches, he would finish with 35 goals, including 8 goals and 8 matches played in the Champions League. And he finished with 9 assists on the season, finishing with .67 goals. And that season, Bayern Munich would win the Bundesliga yet again with 78 points. They win the DFB Pokal, and they'd lose in the round of 16 in the Champions League. But once again, Robert Lewandowski, for the 5th year in a row, would lead Bayern Munich in scoring. So, of course, he did this 3 years in Dortmund, the 3 years that they let him start, and 5 years straight in Bayern. That's 8 straight years of being, if not the top goal scorer in Germany, one of the top goal scorers in all of Germany. And then this would transition into the current year that he's still having. This season, Bayern Munich did finish winning the Bundesliga, and they did win the DFB Pokal. And because of the Leroy Sané addition, it looks as though Bayern Munich will be favorites to at least win the Champions League. The last time they won the Champions League was when they won the treble in 2012, 2013. And this team is looking a lot like that. But even looking at Robert Lewandowski this season, he's having one of the best seasons in his career. In the Bundesliga, in the 31 games he's played, he finished with 34 goals and 4 assists on the season. In the 6 Champions League matches he's played, he finished with 11 goals and 2 assists. In DFB Pokal, which is the domestic cup, he has 6 goals in 5 matches. He has 6 goals in 10 UEFA Euro qualifier games. So in the total 53 matches he's played on the season, he has 57 goals on the season and 8 assists. Right now he's averaging 1.11 goals per 90 minutes. And considering and adding what he's doing for Poland and what he's doing for Bayern Munich, and it looks like Bayern Munich might win the Champions League this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Lewandowski won the Ballon d'Or, which is the French award for the best individual player. Ever since January, he's been the best player in my opinion. He's been scoring like no other. I mean, he has been playing at the front of Bayern Munich, and especially with the coaching change that he's had to deal with. I think since January, Robert Lewandowski has been he's been the most consistent top-level player. And, of course, there are arguments for other players, but I think Lewandowski's been that guy. And even this season, like I said, even with this season, Robert Lewandowski would lead the Bundesliga in goals for the 6th straight season playing at Bayern Munich, following 3 seasons at Borussia Dortmund. That's 9 consecutive seasons in which he's been a starting striker in the Bundesliga, and every single year he's been the leading goal scorer on his team. And in 24, he shared it with Arjen Robben, but that still counts as leading it. And of course, right now Bayern they won the table by at least 13 points. They won considerably. And even looking at Robert Lewandowski, looking back on his entire career, he's 31 years old. He's still I'd argue this is the best season he's having. So, of course I'd argue he's elite right now. He's even for Bayern Munich in the 190 games he's played, he has 162 career goals with Bayern Munich, which is a number that shouldn't even really come close to, which is show as to how much of an all-time great Robert Lewandowski is. He even has 61 total goals in 112 international games for Poland. And just to add on to that, he's been the German champion 8 times. He's won the Bundesliga twice with Borussia Dortmund, and he won 6 years in a row with Bayern Munich. He's won the German Cup, the DFB Pokal, once with Borussia Dortmund, and he won it 3 times with Bayern Munich. He has gone on to win the German Super Cup 4 times. He's won the Polish Super Cup once on his last season while he was there. He was the Polish champion there as well. I mean, with everything that Robert Lewandowski has accomplished up until this point, the only things that he's missing are a Ballon d'Or, which I think he could win this season with how this year is going. If going from January up until July, right now, Robert Lewandowski's been the best player, and it looks like he might do so. And he's also missing a Champions League. And I think Bayern Munich could very well win it this year. And with Robert Lewandowski as Bayern's most dangerous, at least attacking player, I think Robert Lewandowski could qualify as being the best player on the best team in the world this year. But we'll see how it goes. I can't throw out hypotheticals. I have no idea how the season's going to go. But as of right now, I'm telling you Robert Lewandowski is as elite as strikers come. He's the most complete out of all of them. He's very consistent, and it's shown. And considering he's the highest scoring non-German a Bundesliga scorer, I just think that he's going to be an all-time great for a very, very long time. And since he does play for Bayern, the team that I do cheer for, I'm never going to forget Robert Lewandowski. I think he really, really earned that 9. He earned the number 9 when he got to Bayern, and he's really going to, I think he's gonna set the expectations high for the next number 9 or the next person to wear number 9 at Bayern Munich. But with that all said, I appreciate you for listening to all 17 minutes of this. If you ever get a chance, peep my boy Robert Lewandowski. He's currently the striker at Bayern Munich, which is the top team in Germany. And they might be dominating the next couple of years, so you might hear about him sometime soon. He's also the striker for Poland. Poland doesn't really play that deep in international tournaments, but when they do, Robert Lewandowski gets a goal every once in a while. He's kind of a beast when he plays for Poland. And with that said, I appreciate it. You ever get a chance to watch him, I don't know. Whenever he shoots or whenever he's close, just notice his position. I think I tend to notice that he tends to get in even though he's one of the better soccer players that plays striker, I think he's one of the smartest ones too. Just notice where he positions himself along with his teammates and just see how much more he does as a striker than, like, say, the strikers that you would watch. And with that said, I've said my piece. Peace out.